What's going on, guys? It is John Lowell here, and I'm basically going to be doing just a little recap of what I was doing before my New York Post breakdown Flat Earth Research Part 1. I just wanted to finish it because I didn't get a chance to last time. So, let me see if I can just get back right into where I was. If you guys already watched my other video, you know where I'm at. And if you didn't, just go check the other one out if you got the time or want to. If not, it's whatever. But, yeah. So, I think right down here is where I left off. And I was talking about how all the maps were different and blah, blah, blah. How it could be represented all kinds of different ways to our different perspectives. And how the UN Nation map is eerily similar to, the flat Earth map, which yeah, it is. Okay, so let me go down right and get right into it because I just don't want to spend any time on something I already talked about. The idea of Earth. Wait, is this serious? The idea of Earth being flat is far from new, having been a notion shared by a wide range of cultures dating all the way back to ancient Greece. Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with that, but people have always believed the Earth was flat or thought it was, or round or whatever you want to believe. It's actually all in your own perspective, so I'm not going to go there. But it's just all a mind game to me, so who knows? I just know it's not a globe in my perspective. Despite going in and out of favor, the concept regained serious momentum in the mid-20th century when Samuel Shenton established the Flat Earth Society in 1956. Now, I just want to clear this part up right here. I mean, I don't particularly agree with, let's say, the Flat Earth Society at all. I mean, I guess they have what is it? I guess they put a couple things out there that most of us would agree with, but for the majority, they are a controlled opposition, basically, if you know what that is. I'm not gonna explain to you what that is, but that is what they are. And we don't use them to basically be our front man. We are all our own front man, because you can't have anyone else represent the way you believe, or the way you feel, or the way you think, or the way you know things. So it's all in our own personal perspective, and I just want to say that. But this organization, Flat Earth Society, is used to discredit this whole thing, and it says despite going in and out of favor, it gained momentum in that time frame, which is untrue. There's a lot of other people throughout history, it's always been brought up, that have argued this fact, so you can fact check it all you want. Throughout the years of all human history, it's always been like this. They've always argued about it. And one of the guys, I would say, who brought it back in a way was in the 19th century, Samuel Rowbotham, and he did an experiment on the Bedford Levels canals or something like that. It's called the Bedford Levels experiment, I believe. You can look that up if you want to, but it's just a stretch of a flat canal where there should be curve on it, and there isn't. And he did a test on all this, explaining it. But, so, it's always been talked about, that's my point, and it's just saying that this is resurged with this Flat Earth Society, which is untrue. Today, the Flat Earth movement has seen a recent surge with Twitter and YouTube acting as incubators of the conspiracy. I guess even NBA stars have pulled into the conspiracy. In February, Cleveland Cavaliers point guard declared himself a flat earth truther. And they didn't say his name specifically in this article. I think is a little weird. I don't know why they would do that, but it's Kyrie Irving, if you didn't know. So he actually, I think he really is. I don't know if he's controlled opposition or whatever, but somebody who's in the NBA, I mean, you could think that they are. But I guess you can't really say it's like that for everybody, because there are people that you know in life. You know, there's people that you meet in your lifetime that actually go into things like this, so you could know them personally. Like, for example, if you're just a common everyday person and somehow know a famous person who came to be like super famous, for example. I mean, there is people like that. You can think that there isn't, but it happens. I'm not saying it is all of it. Most of it, I would say personally, is controlled opposition, but all I'm saying is you can't say that it is for everybody. Because, like another thing, like I said, they didn't even mention his name in this article, but Shaquille O'Neal, Wilson Chandler, and I guess Draymond Green also dabbled in this non-scientific movement. But it's funny because Shaquille O'Neal, I know, he said that, like, he came out about it, and he's a Freemason, if you didn't know, but after he came out about it, a few days later or whatever, he recanted what he said and took it back, basically, and he was joking, okay? But that's what these people do, so I want you to understand. The whole thing about all these clandestine organizations and stuff is dualism. So one thing's true and one thing is not. There's a hidden meaning in everything. All kinds of things like that. According to the Flat Earth Society, which we don't use, just again, to say that one more time, the most obvious proof of our planet's flatness can be found by looking at the horizon, which is actually true. The horizon always rises to meet eye level, which is impossible on a ball Earth, its website reads, which I actually agree with. I mean, most of us would all say that the horizon is probably the most obvious thing that we could use to show that the Earth is indeed flat. And you can look at any footage you want that's not like GoPro lens type stuff, but you can check amateur footage, semi-amateur, pro, whatever you want to look at, all kinds of footage of high altitude stuff. Earth's always flat unless the lens is actually curved, but it's always flat, no matter how high you go. I mean, you can go on a plane yourself and look out a plane, and if you look out the plane and you think you see it curve, that's because the window is possibly curved. But if it is flat, and you think that you're on a ball still, I don't know what else to tell you. But a horizon thing, I think, is the most obvious thing. Flat earthers claim that the horizon will always remain completely flat to the observer regardless of how high they travel, and that people who claim to see the Earth's curvature from a plane are lying, which they are, indeed. Because even scientists will tell you that you can't see the Earth's curvature from a plane, technically, at about 35,000 feet in the air. So if scientists are telling you this, then why would you think that you see it curve? Why don't you actually research the own science that you believe in before you spit some shit out that you don't even know what you're talking about? Thank you. We have testimonies from several pilots saying that no curvature can be seen at commercial airline heights. It's suggested that airplanes' windows serve to distort the views of passengers and make them believe they see curvature when indeed there is none. The website reads, which is true. I won't argue with that. To bolster their argument, flat earthers suggest that our planet was a giant spinning sphere. The oceans of water would be flowing to down level and covering land, with rivers also impossibly flowing uphill because the natural physics of water is to find and maintain its level. I'm not going to go into that because I don't really want to mess with the whole upward flowing, downward flowing river thing. I don't know too much about it, so I'm not going to do that. But what about those pictures from space that clearly show Earth as a round planet? Okay. There are a plethora of resources available that that show us that we can't trust the photographic evidence from organizations such as NASA, the website reads. Some of the evidence that these should be discounted include constant changes in the depiction of the Earth, inconsistent lighting in moon footage, and other irregularities, which that is all 100% true. I will back that claim up, because you could look at any photos you want. It's all fucking literally the different kinds of photos from NASA. Like NASA.gov will give you Earth with different depictions of land masses. So let's say you see a picture from, I guess, the 80s or whatever. I'm not going to say this exact year because I don't know what it is. But in one of the specific photos, North America was 3 times larger in one picture from NASA than in the other picture. And if you know anything about the Earth, you know that it does not change that rapidly. We don't just grow in size in such significant ways and not feel it like that. It would need the whole plate tectonics and all that different concepts of that stuff to go in hand with it. And that would be causing massive earthquakes and all kinds of things. Like, our Earth would have been pretty much destroyed for us humans in that case, if it was to change so rapidly. But I don't want to get too much into all that. Like I said, you can look up all the things you want yourself. And I have to end this pretty soon, so what is this picture? Yeah, the way the light rays are, you can see how it's like supposed to be beaming the light. I don't want to go into the pictures because it's all Flat Earth Society stuff. I don't really want to get into that. Flat Earth conspiracy theorists hold the belief that our planet's sky is surrounded by a huge dome that holds in the air and protects us, with the Bible even mentioning a firmament which the sun and moon were placed. Which, I'm not gonna argue on that point because you could think what you want. I don't personally think that there's a dome. I really don't. But I can't prove that myself at the moment, so that's up for your own interpretation. You could research all the different stuff that you want in that, but I know it's indeed flat. I don't know what the sky tells, but you know, that's what I feel. It's all about your own interpretation. You need to find it yourself and make your own conclusions until we can actually prove it. But while extremely complex, the movement believes the sun is actually much smaller and closer to the Earth than we've been taught, with the angles of the sun rays offering so-called proof of this, which you could go on. I'm not going to argue with that because I agree with it. If you want to look into this stuff, like I say, continuously, I will drill that down into you. Flat Earthers believe that our day and night cycle is explained by the fact that the sun and moon are spheres measuring 31 miles across that move in circles 3,000 miles above the plane of the planet, a shift from scientific consensus which states that the sun is 93 million miles from Earth, which I don't know the exact measurements because I haven't done them, but in my perspective it is not 93 million because all our light rays are coming in at a parallel, so they would not be bending at such ways that they do here on Earth. The effect of the sun rising and setting is usually explained as a perspective effect, which is true in all things. The Flat Earth movement also has answers for the seasons, because the other things, the radius of the sun's orbit around the Earth's axis is symmetry varies throughout the year, being the smallest when summer is in the northern annulus, and largest when it is summer in the southern annulus, the website reads. As for the reason why gravity doesn't pull the Earth into a spherical shape, Flat Earth advocates have a very simple answer. Gravity doesn't exist. Right then. Don't be so quick to believe. While some of these concepts may sound enticing enough to you, in the Flat Earther's arms, remember there are just as many sources that debunk the theory, like science. Now, since I have about 1 minute left to end this video, I would just like to conclude that their answer at the very end makes no sense. Like science. Science isn't what it used to be. The scientists that we follow today do not use the scientific method in correct ways, and they will recant things that they actually claim to believe in very sophisticated ways. So you have to really research and all that stuff, because there's many other scientists out there that will debunk the globe Earth, or let's say global warming. We'll start with that, because that's right there the number one thing you got to get. There's a lot of scientists that know global warming is not happening, and we are supposed to believe that there's a 97% consensus when it's not. They're all bought and paid for. Thank you for listening. Fuck guys, you fucked me up at the end. I don't care. See ya, I'm out.